I want to just go over who we have with us today. We have a number of presenters. It won't just be me talking. We have a number of presenters that will be here talking to you tonight. So, just to give a little hello to everyone who's here, we have from the Center for Advising and Academic Success, Nicole Ortiz. Hey, Nicole.
Sorry, I forgot I was on mute. Hi, everyone.
We have two people from financial aid. We have Michael Adamo, who will be in the background sort of answering questions. Hi, Michael.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for showing up tonight.
And we have Amy Friedman, who will be our main presenter from financial aid. Hi, Amy.
Hi, everybody.
We don't ever use the I'm going to curse here. I'm sorry. We don't ever use the four-letter word dorm at the College of Staten Island because we have beautiful apartment-style housing. And coming to us from Dolphin Cove Student Housing, we have Dylan Clark. Hey, Dylan.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, I realized I lied. John Kim is not here, but Sophia Arts, who will be graduating in 2027, right? Sophia, Macaulay Honors student, current student. Hi, Sophia.
Hi, everybody.
And then there's me, Sean Walsh, class of 1998. You know, I always joke and say that look at all those dates. They're all from this century. Unfortunately, I'm the old man of the group, and I graduated in the last century. But that's cool. That's me. That's me back in the fall of 1992, my Petriti student, wherever you are. This picture was taken at what is now the Petriti School. Notice something else. All of us, everyone here presenting, we're not only work here at the College of Staten Island, but we were students too. We're all alums. So we love this place so much. We went to school here and we came back and we work here. It just tells you how great the College of Staten Island is. It's a wonderful place for me. I met my wife, Michelle, here at the College of Staten Island. So it's just a special place for me and all of us. And we're here to welcome you to the College of Staten Island. Welcome. Not only are we welcoming students to the College of Staten Island, but we're welcoming all of you, the parents. You're all Dolphins. We're all Dolphins. Go Dolphins. And I just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you from all of us, not only here in this Zoom, but at the College of Staten Island. Thank you for giving us the privilege of educating your students. It is something we take very seriously. We take a lot of pride in the fact that your student is coming here. You're entrusting us with four of the most important years of their life and entrusting us with their education. So thank you for joining us here. Thank you for having your students come to the College of Staten Island and trusting us. And we just had commencement 2 weeks ago. We want nothing more than for your students to march across the Great Lawn and graduate in 4 years. And that's all of our mission. Everyone you meet today, everyone you meet at orientation, everyone you meet every day is really exists to help your students succeed at the College of Staten Island. We are the biggest continuous campus in New York City, 204 beautiful park-like acres, a beautiful, beautiful campus with unbelievable student housing. And with that, I'm going to turn the controls over to your friend and mine, Dylan Clark, who's going to take over and tell us a little bit about Dolphin Cove. Dylan, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Apologies if my voice sounds a little hoarse. I'm getting over a cold I received a week ago. But I'm going to tell you a little about the dorms. At the end, I'm going to stay for the end, so that way if you have any questions, you can shoot them in chat or just ask them at the end. Is it that or is it probably this, right? Sorry, there's a little bit of a lag. So here at Dolphin Cove, you get to see what our outside looks like to our left, what the inside of apartment looks like right over there. The South Conference room, the living room, the maintenance, the workout room, the computer lab, and one of our amenities, the billiard table. So why should you live on campus? You'll probably see this and hear this a bunch of times, but the convenience and the responsibility of them living. It is apartment style, so we don't believe in communal bathrooms and for the hallway and stuff like that. So it is apartment. So most of our apartments have the full kitchen. Well, all of our apartments have the full kitchen, and it'll have two bathrooms, or if you do the 2-1, obviously the 1 bathroom. So once again, it's independent living. So you get a sense of responsibility because we don't clean the rooms for them. Being that it's a private bathroom, they're responsible for cleaning it, washing the dishes, keeping upkeep of the apartment, the accountability, because even though they are living here in apartment style housing, the RAs and pro staff, we're there to make sure that we're keeping them accountable in terms of there are still rules to live in Dolphin Cove. The sense of community because of programming, networking with people from the college, or even their other friends signing them in to do host study groups. The support that we give to ensure that they're We're hands off when it comes to making sure they do their papers, but we do reminders in terms of midterms and finals, etc., and just getting that post-college preparedness of living on your own or living with others. So the greatest thing is taking the commute. The campus, like Sean said earlier, the campus is really, really big. So I think the farthest building from Dolphin Cove is probably about 9, 10 minutes. And that depends on how fast you walk. So it's a really great part about that. Most have to park and walk some ways, but there are several parking spots on campus. But literally, the shortest commute is right down to the conference room or even to the front desk because the CAF actually delivers food to the dorms as well as Uber Eats and Instacart, etc. You get the study groups. You get tutoring, academic services. Sometimes we collab with the tutoring center and we host tutors here in the South Conference room. And we just upgraded our internet. So it's a really, really fast-paced internet. And it's no longer limited to 10 devices. So cool things that we do events at Dolphin Coves. We have 8 RAs, which I'll talk to you about later. And they all host events every month. Sometimes they collab, so 8 can go to 6 or 5, but that's the lowest. We also collaborate with our campus partners because sometimes the Career Center will do stuff here, or Financial Aid, or ASAP, or SEEK will do stuff here, or even the Health Center does stuff here. Campus clubs, it's easier to get to your campus clubs if you don't have to travel because you live right upstairs. The on-campus employment, you include the RAs as on-campus employment, as well as it includes the RAs as well on-campus employment, as well as if you have work study, it's easier to walk to campus. You don't have to align it with just the days you have to go to school, as well as with internships. So just to let you know, we do have maintenance staff that doesn't stay here, but they do work here Monday through Friday, from 7 to about 5 p.m. We have that front desk staff 24/7, from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. The 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. is our staff, and then from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. is the overnight security staff that we contract and train. We have 5 office housing staff, which is Joyce, me, Denosa, Sposmy, and our MRES that's out right now. And we have Melissa, who's our in-house financial aid officer. She deals specifically with Dolphin Cove residents. You have the 3 live-in professional staff members. That would be me, Sposmy, and Denosa, the RD. And then you have you have 8 RAs. 1 SRA is part of that 8 that live on campus, and there's 1 on each floor as well. So there's always somebody for them to contact, as well as public safety stays here overnight. So applying Dolphin Cove, the first thing you would do is fill out your FAFSA tab. Just to let you guys know, and I'm sure Amy will repeat it when it comes, but FAFSA will always go towards tuition and fees first, and whatever rolls over will hit the dorms. It's basically, tuition is most important. Dorms hit after. You would pay that. If you have to pay anything after, most likely, it would hit the dorms and you pay the difference. Then you have to apply online. There's a $400 security fee. And that's kind of like a security deposit. Think about it like that. You're moving into apartment style, so you have that security deposit. You do the cost calculator, which is not something that the government watches. It's something that we watch. It's so that way you guys understand what you're paying for, and this is what will be your cost be for the full academic year. You'll then get a license agreement, which is a financial binding document. And then what you'll do is you will send it. We'll send it to you. You're the student, and you all will sign it because you need a co-signer. And it's not to affect credit or anything. It literally is just a guarantor, so that way you get notifications of like the financial bills and stuff like that. And then you have to register for classes because you have to be all residents have to be minimum 12 credits in order to live in Dolphin Cove. And then Sean will speak about this later, but there is a separate Dolphin Cove orientation that we do as well. So I'm going to show you some of the unit types. You see the money and you might get a little worried, which is understandable. But some of our unit types, like you can see, is truly apartment style. This is our 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom shared, and our 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom private. So this, just because it's a 3-bedroom, 4 people still live in this room. The 2 people on the right-hand side where the shared bedroom is would typically use that bathroom, and the 2 privates would use the bathroom to the left. That one is $7,765 a semester. Once again, FAFSA goes towards tuition first and whatever rolls over. Our 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom private is $8,860 a semester. That one is our median price because the 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom is the same. is the same amount, and the 4 bedroom you'll see on the next slide is the same thing. It's just 4 people. Nobody shares a room in that room. So it's the same 8860 as well as a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. Is when you're only sharing with one other person. It's 10,760. I seen that message really quickly. Financial aid does not cover the deposit. Deposit is paid out of pocket. And then to let you know, just so you all know, it's not rent controlled in the terms of you're not paying utilities, as well as just because you don't have everybody move into the room, it doesn't mean that person pays more because they live in a room with other people. Your bill is your bill. Um, so the license agreement, once you apply, you get it sent. We confirm everything. You send it. We send it to you. You'll sign digitally versus via DocuSign. And then, read through the entire document. If you have any questions, feel free to call our office. If you want to ask for Dylan, you may, as I'm overseeing the leasing documents right now while our MRES is out. Accommodation roommate assignments. So I do roommate assignments in July. However, once you apply, the earlier you apply, the better, because you get once you apply, the better, because you get access to this thing called Room Sync. I hate to explain like this, but think of it like Tinder, but for roommates. You make an account, you post a picture, you do a little bio, you speak a little about yourself, and then you get to see people in like room types. And once you see people in like room types, you get to build your room. If not, what I do is I just take people in like rooms and obviously like genders, and I put them together. So it's at random. Payment due date's July 1st for fall 2026. That's when it gets invoiced out. Once that starts the beginning of the payment plan, you have to be financially approved to move into dorms, whether it means you pay the full thing or you do the payment plan and Joyce approves it. That's how you get your move-in date. And move-in date will most likely be late August. It's usually about probably 3 or 4 days before the first day of school. But you wouldn't get a move-in time and everything until you're financially approved to move in. And then just follow us on Instagram and TikTok. I'll be here for any questions and I'll try to respond to some in the chat. But if you ever want to see what the dorms look like in real time, you can see our model unit or our empty bare unit. All the rooms come furnished. If you follow this Instagram and TikTok, we have a lot of lives on there. And we post a lot of updates on there.
Thank you, Dylan. All right, so moving right on to transition to college. So obviously all of you here, your role as a parent, guardian, aunt, uncle, grandparent, is transitioning as much as the student is transitioning. We're both going through a transition. It's a huge transition for them, but it's a huge transition for you. Obviously, college is a radical change from high school. Supports and services you and your child know right now will not be the same in college. They'll be much different. You and your child leave behind a set of routines and supports that were in place to help your students succeed and to give you access to all of their information. You will not have the same access, unfortunately, to the students' records that you have now. In college, they will have a lot more freedom. They will face a complicated set of academic and social environments without the benefit of constant reminders from the teachers in high school, from guidance counselors, from you, really. Go to bed, stay up, get to work. They're going to have to start to rely on a lot more self-sufficiency, and you really role goes from really being extremely active role in their life to really the role of a mentor. You as their chief advocate will transition to more of a mentor role. They really take the helm of their life, really, so to speak. They will have to manage relationships with professors the way we manage relationships with our supervisors, our bosses. All professors are different, and it's in life they're going to have to learn that, right? All bosses are different. For each course, the student is going to get a syllabus, right? And that syllabus is going to outline everything they're responsible for in that course for that semester. They should really be on top of their syllabi, right? Review them. The most successful students is when they follow instructions and also show a willingness to learn the subject matter. Students should you should encourage your students to take advantage of office hours. Every faculty member has office hours. They're in their office, ready to talk to students. They can go and talk to their faculty if they're having some issues, if they're lost, if they want to just talk a little bit more about the subject. Professors are there, and professors really love when students show an interest in the subject matter. Remember, all these professors are experts in that field, and they really love it when someone comes and talks to them about what they're interested in. And the other thing, which is quite huge, is students will now get to share with you what they want to share with you, right? Everyone is familiar with HIPAA. HIPAA, right? We can't walk into a doctor's office and just request someone's medical documentation without them approving you. Well, FERPA is very similar to HIPAA in just dealing with educational records. Obviously now, while your student is in high school, the teacher or administrator calls you, right? Tells you how they're doing. You get report cards. You could contact the teacher. I know we do it all the time with my kids, right? How are they doing? What's going on? Are they missing anything? Well, that doesn't happen in college. Once a student enrolls in college, they fall under the FERPA Act. That means that all their records are now their records and that we cannot share them with anyone. You may be paying for them to go to college. They may be living with you while they're in college. But unless we have written permission on record that they allow us to share the information with you, we cannot share it with you. Again, you may be 100% in charge of their bill, paying for them, giving them money for everything in their life, but they still cannot share anything with you unless you have a FERPA release form on file. And that's something you should have a conversation with them before the semester starts about what they're going to share with you, what you expect from them living in your home. And if they agree, you should have that FERPA release form on file with the registrar's office. I know John's putting a lot of links in the chat as we're going. He's going to put that FERPA release form in. He's putting FERPA information. Have that discussion with your students before it's too late. And again, talking about the syllabus, make sure they're following the syllabus. Not every faculty member is going to remind them a paper is due or a quiz is coming up or a reading is due. They may expect that they know that's on the syllabus. So they may not say during the class before something is due, hey, next class, remember, X is due. So make sure they're following that syllabus and they're ready for those classes. Now, while I'm trying to scare all of you, right, a little bit, saying how things are going to change, things are going to change, but things are going to get a lot better too. CSI really does provide a robust set of support services that are in place to help your students succeed. Like I said when I started, we're all here to help your students succeed, and there are a lot of people that are not here today that are going to be on campus to help your students succeed. One is we have a great counseling center. We have free, quality, licensed counselors on our staff that are there to help your students. You know, sometimes if anyone wants to see a counselor in the real world, right, it's expensive. Sometimes health coverage doesn't cover it. Well, they have access to the same licensed counselors that practice on the outside for free here at the College of Staten Island. So have them take advantage of that. They could do one-on-one counseling or even group counseling. There's academic counseling, there's personal counseling. They do it all there in that office. We have a great health and wellness center, right? We have nurses and nurse practitioners on staff to help your students in case they're not feeling well. Public safety. It's a very safe campus. We have a great public safety, which is here 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Public safety is here to make sure this is a safe campus and a safe learning environment. Academic support. Offers free quality peer tutoring online and in person. Again, in high school, I think sometimes we think tutoring is a punishment, but it's not in college. And you really want to go to tutoring before you fall behind. Go to see the tutors. Make sure you're keeping up with your work. We have a great Center for Career and Professional Development. Students have to really start thinking early on. You know, 4 years will go by very quickly, as it did in high school. And college is going to go by. They need to start working on building that resume, hitting all the points that they need to hit along the way to that they're job ready. And we have a lot of great resources with the Career and Professional Development Office. Resume and cover writing, job preparation, professional etiquette events. They do so many things. They do a lot of on-campus recruitment events. So make sure that they're staying up to date with that and really working on their resume while they're here. We have the supports and the people here to help them with that. Student life. There's so many things to do to get involved with student life. Get involved. Students who get involved on campus are more successful in their studies. So encourage them, again, as that mentor, encourage them to join clubs. Encourage them to join student government. Encourage them to join the radio station. You know, it's not only going to have them do better, but it's going to make their experience so much better. You know, I was involved in a lot of stuff when I was here as a student many, many, many years ago. It's so important for them to get involved on campus. So like I said, as you can see, while things are going to change for everyone, and it's a scary time, it's a scary change, things are going to get so much better for them here as students. So just encourage them to be involved, encourage them to keep up with their professors, encourage them to attend office hours, and they will have a very, very successful time here at the College of Staten Island. We're here to help them, so take advantage of the help that is here. So with that, We do have we do have the Dolphins, right? You're all Dolphins now. We have a lot of great things here to get involved with at the college. So make sure they take advantage of that. So we do want to highlight now and go through. We have a few people here who are going to help me with this. The steps to enrollment. What are the steps to enrollment? Now, I'm pretty sure that if you're here in this session, your student took care of step one. We really only invited students and parents of students who were committed to attend the College of Staten Island. So I'm sure most of you did that. That's the most important first step to make sure that you'll get the next steps, right? You'll start getting the communications so you can go through the next steps. We have a little video here that I want to show, and to call out John Kim, who's here in the session. He produced this video and he did a spectacular job. Graduate of the College of Staten Island, did a great job in this video. So I want to show you a quick little video that's highlighting all of these, and then we'll start reviewing them as we go. But this is a good way to see really what those steps are. So sit back and relax the next 4 minutes on this little video.
Welcome to the College of Staten Island. My name is John Kim. I'm the new student program coordinator here. I'm also a proud graduate of the College of Staten Island. Now that you're admitted to CSI, there are a few steps you need to follow to secure your enrollment for the fall semester. Before we proceed to those enrollment steps, we do have to review CUNY's proficiency requirements. As part of the admissions review process, we look at various academic factors from your high school transcript, such as your high school GPA, region exam scores, SAT and ACT scores. College students who do not meet the proficiency benchmarks in one or more areas will have several remediation options. You can visit the testing information section of our new student guide online for more information. Students with deep developmental needs will be strongly encouraged to participate in an intervention program prior to starting regular courses. Now, let's get started with those enrollment steps.
Make sure to accept CSI's offer of admission and pay the $100 commitment fee.
You can do this by logging into your CUNY First account. If you haven't claimed your account yet, visit cuny.edu/CUNYFirst.
You may be waived from the commitment deposit if you applied for financial aid using the FAFSA and your student aid index is $2,950 or less.
All students must submit the immunization form to the CSI Health Center prior to registering for classes. This form can be found on our website. If you are an NYC public high school student, we should receive your health records automatically. If not, we will let you know. CSI's Advisement and Registration Training, or CART for short, is where you register for classes and claim accounts like your email. Once you've completed the first two steps, you'll receive an email inviting you to register for a CART session where an advisor will help you register for classes.
New Student Orientation, or NSO for short, is a pre-semester mandatory one-day program for new incoming students. It's meant to help students understand all the resources here on campus.
After you register for classes, you will receive an email from Sean Walsh to schedule your NSO session. We usually have a few dates available all throughout the summer to choose from.
And that's where you'll meet this guy. Doesn't make sense now? It will later.
Pay your bill at the Office of the Bursar in Building 2A, or you can talk to them about other information for ways to pay your tuition, like a payment plan.
If you need assistance with financing your education, please visit our Enrollment Services office in Building 2A.
Proof of graduation must be on file before the first day of class. You could drop off your transcript and diploma in the Department of Recruitment and Admissions in Building 2A. If you haven't dropped it off, we'll reach out to you to remind you.
We just started a College of Staten Island class Facebook group, and we would love to have you as a member.
The CSI Class of 2030 is a group dedicated to supporting students who are starting CSI in the fall.
It is a place to gain helpful enrollment information, learn of upcoming events, and making new friends. This is the community of new Dolphins about to take the plunge into college life, so be sure to join. If you have any questions or concerns, you're always welcome to visit us here in the admissions office in Building 2A, Room 103.
Great job, John. Excellent job on that video. So those are the steps, and now we're going to sort of go through those steps a little bit. I do want to say while I'm giving some control over to my friend Janice, and we'll introduce Janice, I just want to preface it by saying, keep in mind that these steps are really for students who are not in Verrazano and not in Macaulay. And then I'll say something else about SEEK and ASAP when we get to orientation. But if you're a SEEK, a Verrazano or Macaulay student, they have their own set of enrollment steps. Definitely reach out to them if that applies to anyone here. And I apologize if anybody couldn't hear that video. Thanks, John. John popped it in. You could always just view that on your own. You have that. It's on our YouTube channel. And hey, subscribe to us while you're there. Janice, sophomore step coordinator. Take it away. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Janice Sankar. I am one of the academic advisors at the Center Advisement and Academic Success. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to touch base on CART session. So there's a whole process of like what the steps are for a student to sign for CART. And it's only for, of course, for incoming freshmen. So CART, what does it stand for? It's CSI Advisement and Registration Training. During the CART session, the student will get an individualized advisement sheet that explains the requirements that's needed for their intended major. So ideally, that means that it's really based on what their intended major is. So like, for example, if they're nursing, then those blocks would be geared towards nursing. I'll explain blocks in a few moments, but also during the CART session, students will also benefit from pre-college programs like CUNY Start or the Bridge program. You'd be able to meet with people who are part of those programs to see if those programs would be best fitted for you based on your placement scores and everything, because it's really based on if you're eligible, if you're math proficient, reading and writing proficient, that type of stuff. So because at the end of the day, we want to make sure you achieve your degree. So it depends on how you achieve it. It's going to be different per student. So just keep that in mind. Also, you'd also meet programs that are like ASAP and SEEK. ASAP and SEEK are special programs that help students pay for tuition. They also guide you throughout the whole, beginning from freshman all the way to senior. And they are also, you're going to be connected to an academic advisor you could always go to, and they would be able to help you. And then on the day of CART, what's going to happen is you're going to check in. Usually check-in takes about 30 minutes. Right now I'm checking, I just looked at it. We started CART session, I believe last month. And I'm looking at the website right now. Our next CART session that we have available is going to be July 16th. The whole month of June is already full. So you want to make sure that if you haven't signed up for CART, for your students to sign up for CART, make sure to get that started as soon as possible. But ideally, usually in the month of July, there's going to be morning sessions and afternoon sessions. The morning sessions will start about 9:30 and they end around 1 p.m. And the afternoon sessions would be around 1:30 to 5 p.m. So it is a big chunk of your day. So if you're signing up for CART, make sure you depending on the time frames that you sign up for, it's the entire day. I know a lot of students would come and they're like, do I have to stay the whole entire time? Unfortunately, yes, because we do go over a lot of information. And during the CART session, it is going to be a group session. So just keep that in mind. You will meet with IT. We're going to kind of transfer you over to a computer lab. During the computer lab, you'll be able to gain campus resources like your campus email, also help you gain access to your CUNY First. When you log into CUNY First, you now have to do an MFA, which is a multi-factor authenticator. That whole step, it takes a while, hence the reason why it's such a long process for you from the beginning to the end. Also, after the IT session, we come back, the advisors come back, and we give a presentation that goes over the college policies and procedures and everything like that. And during that presentation, we also go over and revise your class schedule. So you, as the student, would be able to see what courses they're enrolled in. And then we also go over course card checklists. The checklist is an agreement on what the student understands that occurred today at that time. Now, I mentioned earlier about block sections. So I'm going to go over here. Let's see if I could switch this over. So block courses. Now, ideally, what are block programs? Block programs, it's only for incoming students, and many incoming students are transitioning from high school to college. And selecting a block will help you make this process a little bit smoother, because as high school, it's very rigid. It's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. With this block schedule, it's sometimes something's very similar where you be able to adapt. Maybe you only come on campus Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, maybe Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. It really depends on what your intended major is, depending on the block. The block is also based on the student's major. So for example, if the student's intended for business, we would only select blocks that's geared towards business for that student. Or if the student's going for, let's just say, engineering, for computer science, again, those blocks are only going to be based on those intended majors. So just keep that in mind. Most blocks are between 12 to 15 credits. To be considered a full-time student, you need at least a minimum of 12 college credits, 15 credits to graduate on time, but it is understandable depending on programs like special programs like nursing. Primarily, you would want to try to get your prerequisites first for the nursing program. But again, it's really based on your intended major, but ideally between 12 to 15, you're on track. Also, the block also helps you form learning communities. When you're sharing different blocks, different schedules, you'd be able to see different people from different, like, oh, wait, I saw you in my English class, or I saw you in my math class. It builds that communication, and it also helps you, like, okay, I need a little bit of help. Did you get that, what the professor was trying to say? And then again, that's helping you form that learning community. And lastly, the block helps students stay track on their credits, because again, each blocks are between 12 to 15 credits. Again, you want to make sure you graduate within a timely fashion within 4 years, because it's a majority of the majors at CSI is a total of 120 credits. So you want to make sure you graduate on time. Now, who am I? Again, I'm part of Advisement. Now, usually advisement is every March and October you come in for advisement. You do have to meet with an academic advisor every single semester. Usually you get a hold on your account just saying like, hey, you need to meet with an academic advisor, and then you'll be able to register for the upcoming semester. And ideally for us, if you have any college credits, I believe Sean will touch base on this afterwards, but college credits, if it's from like College Now, usually it's already in the system already. But if you have college credits from a non-CUNY, so I just say you got credits from St. John as an example, or if you do something at another non-CUNY, you would want to make sure you transfer over those credits at CSI, so we'd be able to add it to your account. And also AP credits, also we'd be able to see that information, but you also have to make sure you get connected to College Board, get our code in, and then we'd be able to see that on your CUNY First, so then we could evaluate it and post those credits on your CUNY First account. And again, every March and October, you just want to come in for advisement. And that's pretty much it on my end. Yeah, that's all good to go.
Well, thank you, Janice.
Of
And
course.
Janice, you'll be here, right? Answering any
Yes,
questions
of
people
course.
have?
If you have any questions at the end, I'm going to be here until the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Janice. All right, that comes to me again. It's my turn again. New student orientation. That's John and myself, right? We're here for orientation. So new student orientation is a one-day mandatory event. Students must attend orientation. Now, I did say before I would mention something about the other programs. So if you're in Verrazano or Macaulay, they have their own orientation. Likewise, if you're in SEEK or ASAP, they have their own orientation. So everyone else attends my orientation. So we've already started sending out invitations to students to sign up for orientation. So make sure you sign up. If you're not sure if you're going to be in SEEK or ASAP, sign up for my orientation. You can always cancel. And you're also welcome to attend my orientation as well as theirs. You're not we welcome you. You don't have to, it's not mandatory, but you're more than welcome to attend my orientation. I know there were a couple of students in here who were coming from far away, from California, from Florida. We will offer a Dolphin Cove only new student orientation, and that's the day before classes start. That's the 27th of August. In fact, if you receive the invite for new student orientation, that date's not even listed on there. We haven't started sharing that date with everyone. I have to talk to Dylan and everyone in Dolphin Cove. We'll figure out a way to start communicating that and sending that form to those students who are living on campus. We're going to work on that soon. So if you're living on campus and you receive the invite to orientation, you can ignore it for now. We're going to get in touch with you with a new orientation form to fill out. But everyone else, if you're just going to be a commuter student and you're not joining any of those special programs that I mentioned, you're going to come to me. And a secret is my orientation is better anyway. It's more fun. We have a good time. It's very informative. You see me, I like to run around in the theater and dance around and go a little crazy to welcome the kids and make sure we're bringing the energy and make sure they have a good time at orientation. So that we set them off on the right path and show them what a great place the college is from day one. But again, encourage them to sign up. I know, part of my job and John's job is we have to make students come to an event that most students don't want to come to. Nobody wants to go to new student orientation. That's not just at the College of Staten Island, that's in the whole world. Students are always like, I have to go to orientation. So they dread it, but we try to make it fun. We give them food. So just encourage them to sign up for orientation because it's really important and it's a degree requirement. If they don't, then they have to do all this other stuff and when classes start and they also forget about that. Forget about it being mandatory. They start with not knowing a lot of the services that we offer. So, we talk about how to get a Dolphin card, how to get your ID card at orientation. So there's a lot of information. Please make sure that you're encouraging them to attend orientation. So we're up to step 4. Step 5, we're going to talk a little bit about financial aid because step 5 involves paying your bill. And maybe you don't have to pay your bill. Maybe you could see my friend Amy, and Amy's going to help you with orientation. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to, I always joke and say I'm like the old person here, right? She has a new ID card. I have the ID card that was from the early 1990s, and here's Amy with the ID card that we all have now, the Dolphin card. So, Amy, financial aid coordinator, Amy Friedman, take it away.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Amy Friedman. I work in Enrollment Services, which is the financial aid front-facing office. We're located in Building 2A, room 106. Okay, so they just had gone over how you register for classes. Within about 48 hours of you actually making your schedule is when you're going to be populated with a bill. Generally, full-time students get charged about $3,744 a semester with no financial aid at all. And a good portion of our students are eligible for some sort of financial aid. Okay, so how can we pay for it? There are methods outside of financial aid before I get into financial aid to pay your bill. If you want to just pay your bill out of pocket, you can do so right through the CUNY First app in the Finances tab, or you can come in person to our Bursar's office, also in 2A, room 105, if you want to pay cash, check, or money order. So what is financial aid? It's really an umbrella term for all kinds of funding that is provided to students to help them get through school. There are 2 general types. It's need-based and non-need-based. And the 3 main sources of that are the federal aid, state aid, and private sources. So you're probably familiar with grants. This is going to be your Pell Grant, your TAP Grant. This type of aid does not require repayment, unlike loans, which is the secondary form. This can either be federal or private. Loans do have to be repaid. We also have scholarship opportunities. This can be from the school or outside of the school. Scholarships do not require repayment, and they're generally merit-based. And then the 4th type of financial aid we have is employment. That's like the work-study jobs that you've heard of. So the FAFSA and TAP applications are currently open right now. I'm sure many of you have already done them. For the current aid year, it's going to be the 26-27 applications. Everything will be based upon your 2024 tax year. This slide here is going to show you the website that you can complete your FAFSA on, our school code for FAFSA, and our school code for TAP. When you're doing your TAP application, which is for state aid, you can search just CUNY and will pop up that way too. Same thing for the FAFSA if you don't remember the school code. Okay, so when you do your FAFSA, really what happens is it gets into the Department of Education and they're going to populate you with what's called a Student Aid Index, or what we commonly refer to as an SAI. The SAI is going to chart how much financial aid you are actually eligible for, and this number stays the same regardless of which college you go to. The SAI is compared against the COA, or cost of attendance. So what is the cost of attendance? You're going to see this on your financial aid award letters that go out to all the students. It's a number that encompasses direct costs and indirect costs. So when you see the cost of attendance, that's not actually your charges. It's just a figure we compare against the SAI to determine how much aid you're eligible for. While the SAI doesn't change, when you go to different schools, the cost of attendance can change. Okay, when you finish your FAFSA application, you're going to start with the student portion. You'll go through, the student will then be prompted to invite their contributor or their parent to finish their portion. Both the student and the contributor need their own studentaid.gov accounts, and both sides need to be completed in order for the school to receive the FAFSA. Similarly, in both the student end and the parent end, you do have to consent for us to receive your information directly from the IRS. So regardless if you filed taxes or not for the corresponding year, you still have to consent. We'll receive the non-filer, and then we can go ahead with your account. If you refuse consent, the FAFSA will automatically be rejected. So if you are eligible for aid, the maximum Pell Grant you're eligible to receive per year will be $7,395. This will be split between the fall and the spring semester. This number is determined based upon the SAI that I was talking about earlier. There's a secondary form of aid that you can get from your FAFSA. It's called SCOG funding. These are discretionary funds that we can give out to students. They're on a first come, first served basis, and they're not always guaranteed. So you can always ask and we'll see if we can help you out. The last form of federal funding that you can receive is going to be federal work study, like I said earlier. In order to receive this, your student has to be in at least 6 credits. They have to be meeting sufficient progress, and it's also limited funding, so it is a first come, first serve. Okay, I'm sorry, there is one more form, loans. We have the need-based loan, which is subsidized, the non-need-based loan, which is unsubsidized, and the plus loans. Generally, plus loans are only given to Cove students, but any parent can apply for a Parent Plus loan. Your need is based upon your FAFSA. So we will always give students whatever they're eligible for in subsidized loans before we tap into the unsubsidized loans. The subsidized loans are not accruing interest while the student is in school. The unsubsidized portion is accruing interest. Every student is eligible for at least the unsubsidized portion. Generally speaking, for loans, you have to be in at least 6 credits. There are a lot of new laws regarding the loans, so we highly recommend that students who can attend full-time so they can maximize their aid. But for both terms of the loans, you do not have to start repayment until you're below 6 credits or you graduate. Of course, you can start repayment as soon as you would like to. In order to receive the loan, you would have to complete the formal application, the master promissory note, and entrance counseling. And this is just how you would apply for a loan through CUNY First. There are 2 ways to do the actual loan application. So once your FAFSA is complete, you'll be prompted with that. You can complete it through CUNY First directly in the financial aid tab, or if you go to the CSI website, you can search federal direct loans and the other application will be there as well. So the maximum eligibility for freshman students is going to be $5,500 per year. The maximum subsidized eligibility is $3,500. You can elect to just receive the subsidized portion if that's what you want. That's the portion that's not accruing interest right away. For independent students, which likely isn't going to apply here in parent orientation, independent students are going to be eligible for up to $9,500 as an incoming freshman. The interest rate right now is about 6.3%, but these can fluctuate. So that was federal aid. The other portion is going to be state aid, more commonly known as TAP. In order to receive TAP, you must be a New York State resident for at least 1 calendar year prior to your enrollment. In order to receive the full TAP award, you have to be enrolled in at least 12 credits, but there are part-time options. Similarly for FAFSA, if you go part-time, you can receive part-time Pell Grants. The maximum award for TAP per year is going to be $5,665, and then you'll also get a CUNY TAP waiver. The state offers other incentive programs as well. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the Excelsior Scholarship. That's where all those commercials came out and said free college in New York. This only really applies to students where the household income is under $125,000 per year. They also offer academic scholarships, and for students who don't meet the citizenship requirements to receive federal funding, you can still receive state funding through the Jose Peralta Dream Act. If you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to our office and we can help you with that. Okay, this is really important for parents, but more especially for students, maintaining your academic eligibility. Your student has to be attending courses and making sufficient progress towards their degree in order to continue receiving aid. So if their grades start to drop or they start to withdraw from a lot of courses, it will affect their financial aid eligibility. We highly recommend that students who are considering withdrawing from a course or don't think that they're performing very well to come contact us, contact their advisors, and we'll work together to let them know the repercussions, as it does change on a semester by semester basis. Generally speaking, to maintain TAP, as long as you are passing your courses, you'll be okay. The GPA requirement is a 2.0, and you need a 2.0 just to graduate in general. I see here, can a student receive both TAP and Excelsior? Yes, you can receive your Pell Grants, your TAP grants, and Excelsior. Excelsior is only up to the cost of tuition. So anything else would be covered by the student themselves. It's really important that you guys keep on top of your emails. That's what this slide is about. Sometimes when you complete your FAFSA, you will be selected for verification. This task is going to be directly in the CUNY First website, but you'll also receive emails from us, and we do outreach where we'll call students personally just to remind them that they have the tasks. If you have outstanding tasks, you will not receive any aid until the tasks are resolved. Like I said earlier, in terms of the financial aid award letter, this is what it's going to look like. Your student will get this via email. Some of you may have received a booklet about this in the mail. And that top section is where you're going to see the cost of attendance that has the tuition, the fees, and then on the side, you're going to see those indirect costs like housing, transportation, and books. Like I said, you're not actually being charged all those numbers. It's just how we use the calculation. The secondary box is going to have all the aid that you're eligible for. That's where you'll see Pell Grants and TAP grants. It's really important that you make sure when you're reading this that you see estimated TAP as only an estimation. It's not an official offer. And then at the bottom, you'll see your loans and work study awards. In the Students CUNY First is where you'll find out if you have outstanding tasks. In this second bubble here, you have your to-do list. And when you click on that, if you see something here like verify my FAFSA, this is where you would complete it. There'll be another pop-up on the next slide. But this goes for other departments as well. If you have your diploma is missing, you'll see an indicator here for the admissions office, et cetera, et cetera. You only have to complete the tasks that are assigned to the college that you're attending. So if you've applied to several CUNYs, you'll see all the CUNY schools in here, but you only have to do CSI since you're coming here. If you see that verification task and you select it, this is the pop-up you're going to see. Right here, there's going to be a link to ProVerifier is where you would upload all of your documents. We generally say the document review takes at least 2 weeks. Your students will be assigned either a counselor or the committee who will go through their documents, and they'll reach out to the student directly via email, reminding them, and they'll be adding additional tasks on CUNY first. Once your FAFSA is verified, it may change your SAI. So this is why it's really important to keep on top of it so you can understand your full financial aid package before you become liable for any of the billing charges. Okay, and last but not least, if this was super overwhelming and you do need help, we have a lab on the 4th floor where we have a representative that will sit with you and your student, and we can do all of these applications top down. Or if you're having any trouble and you just want to go through it, you can visit the lab as well. We do accept walk-ins, or you can make an appointment right on our website. And we highly recommend that you reach out to us if you have any questions. If you've already completed the applications, you don't need to schedule an appointment with the lab. You could just see me or my colleague Michael or anyone else in enrollment services, and we will come help you. Our email address is just financialaid@csi.cuny.edu, and our phone number is 718-982-2030.
Thanks, Amy. Just an FYI for everyone while the slide is still up. Starting June 12th, we will be closed on Fridays during the summer. So this will change really to Monday through Thursday from 9 to 5. I believe it's June 12th, whatever that Friday is. That'll be the first Friday, and it'll be closed until I think the second Friday in August. So just mark your calendars. The college is closed on Fridays for a bulk of the summer. So just make sure you take care of everything on Monday through Thursday. Yeah, so that brings us to 5, pay your bill. So that means either paying your bill, it means finalizing your financial aid with Amy and company, or it means maybe setting up a payment plan. We do have a payment plan. All that information is on CUNY First, and you could, if you have payment plan questions, you can always reach out to the bursar who administers those payment plans. But that's that next step is paying your bill, finalizing your bill. Those are the steps that we've gone over. The last one is really update your academic record, which is 6. I know Janice touched on it a little bit. So as far as final high school transcripts, if your student is attending, which I think is most people here, not everyone, I know that, but most of you, if you attend a New York City public schools school, we'll get that final transcript automatically. If you attended a school outside that's not a New York City public schools, whether that is St. Joseph by the Sea, who is here, or a school down in Florida, just make sure that your guidance counselor, person who's in charge of those records, is sending us your final transcript once you officially graduate, because we will need proof of graduation. As far as another thing Janice touched on was college credit. So if you take College Now, for those of you who are not from New York, you don't know what College Now is. College Now are college classes that public high school students take that are CUNY college courses. So though if you took College Now, those are already on your CUNY First. So if you're currently in a course, make sure you do well, because those courses will stay with you. So those are already on your CUNY First. You don't have to do anything about those. If you took college courses that are not College Now, any college course, AP, make sure you're getting the final transcript, final score of the AP test to us. Generally, 3 or 4 we'll get you credit for the course. Make sure you're sending that, having that sent to us, admissions at csi.cuny.edu, and we'll get that on your record. And then CAS, right? People at CART will have that, and they'll be able to advise you accordingly. Other than that, that's really the end of our presentations. We'll stick around for a few minutes to answer questions. I think a lot of the questions were answered in the chat box. If you want, I'm sure John's going to put the link in, but scan the QR code here and you will have the academic calendar. And you could bookmark this website because it's always updated with the new academic calendar. Right now, what's up there now is the current one, spring, the one we're in now, but also what's up there is summer and fall of 26. So you'll be able to see that they have the calendar, make sure they know the calendar, they know when the college is closed, whether there's days off, things like that. We do campus tours, right, John? Every Tuesday at noon, most Tuesdays at noon, most Wednesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. In fact, I think it smells like there's a tour starting right now. I think Andre's running a tour right now, right? He's, as we speak, Andre's taking a group out. And we do select weekends at 10 a.m. I think we'll be adding probably something in June I think maybe, don't quote me, June 20th looks like a day we'll be adding to the calendar soon. So, but visit that link and that'll help you with getting set with a tour. We also will offer tours at orientation for the students. And we do something when the semester starts called Walk and Talk with a Mentor, where they can get clue credit. They're going to find out what clue credit is that they need to complete at orientation. And they can get a clue credit by walking around campus with one of our mentors. And again, don't forget about those opportunity programs, those diversity programs like Seek and ASAP. You're going to learn about that at CART. So make sure they're paying attention because those are great programs for students and help them succeed. Follow us, like us, add us. We're everywhere, all over social media, everywhere. You'll see our mentors doing some fun stuff on social media too. So that is the official end of our presentations. What I do like to say is it's never over just because the presentation's over. You could always email us. I'm going to give you my email address here in the chat box right now. Again, thank you all for coming. Thank you. Enjoy whatever you're doing for the rest of the day. And I'm going to say, for those New Yorkers in here, let's go Knicks. Go Knicks. All right.